Hey, Thomas, do we have double music playing? Thomas, do we have double? Oh, that's just me. That's just me. How's it working? Is it working good on your end?
I can hear you. A little bit quiet for me. I don't know if that's for everyone else.
I'll turn it up a little bit on my end. Is that a little better?
It's a little better.
Cool. Happy Friday. We made it all the way to the weekend. Another week we can check off the calendar where we survived.
What a week it was. My goodness gracious.
Oh man, it was a doozy. It really was. Trying to fade this out. I don't know how to fade it out. Yep, there it goes. It faded out. We're done. All right. Learning new stuff. You can teach an old dog new tricks, Thomas. This is what I'm living proof of that. But it has been a crazy week. It's been absolutely wild in the court world, obviously, as we've followed a few trials this week with a lot of developments, verdicts, just a lot of bizarre, crazy things all in the same week. So it's good to have a weekend finally here ahead of us. I have some good weather ahead of me. I'm not sure if the whole nation could say the same thing. I know you've had a doozy. What was your week like weather-wise?
Yeah, I was hoping you were going to put that in there. Chat's kind of been yelling at me before we got started. I've been watching. So we've actually been good. We've been in a lot of the big outlook areas and whatnot. Everything kind of skipped right around us. We got a good show, but nothing hit us head on. We actually have severe thunderstorms in the area right now that are warned. But golly, in the last 2 days, I think there have been 29 tornado reports. And that's going to jump because today in Nebraska, at one point in time, there was 11 tornado warned storms with 3 already confirmed. Reed Timmer being in the middle of one and doing a full-on intercept and his new oil.
He's got the Dominator 3 or something out, right?
Yeah, he resurrected the Dominator 3. He brought it back to life after it broke down again last week. So, no, weather's ongoing as we sit here today, and it's going to continue actually for the next couple of days. Severe weather for many, many people.
Yeah, welcome to spring. Welcome to spring, you know.
Spring has sprung. And this is actually a little bit of a different dynamic. So we had a low pressure systems hanging off on the West Coast and the East Coast that were just kind of hovering there. So all the energy from the Gulf, from the Southwest and Southeast that was kind of flowing into the continental U.S. was trapped in this kind of border wall fence area. So it all has just kind of stayed. And as these pressure systems are kind of playing, it's like bowling with bumpers, more or less. It's creating all these storms. So that's why everything's just been so hectic day after day. And it's going to continue all the way through the week and early next week. It's pretty wild, actually. Real busy.
I figured if you're going to talk weather, I had to put your logo up on screen. And I've got this nice shirt as well that it looks like I can see the beach through it because it's green as well. Too. My keys it out. But I got this awesome shirt in the mail today.
I didn't even notice.
Arrived. I didn't tell you I was ordering it.
You didn't tell me.
So,
you sneaky
I'm
rascal.
loving it. Quality is great. You've got your merch page up, which is just fantastic.
Well, thank you so much. Anyone in chat, I really had no idea. He just surprised me with that. He asked me about my logo.
I sat like this during the pre-show, so we wouldn't see anything. I'm covering it up the whole time.
I never saw it. That's so cool. It's funny you say that. So I got the first day I launched my merch page because a few people have said and unfortunately I don't have any ball caps or anything, but I did some shirts and a whole bunch. There's a few other gadgets in there that are kind of fun, backpacks and whatnot. And 2 days later I logged in and I had my first sale of a t-shirt. I was so excited. And I'm looking at it. It's like a white tee with logo and I'm just couldn't be any more excited. Just sold a t-shirt. Right. And, I don't know. I turn you on in the morning and I'm watching. I get a text from my brother. And he's like, "Hey, bro, just ordered a t-shirt." So it's like,
that's awesome.
You're like, "Thank you, family, for supporting me." But I'm like, it's my brother.
No, that's great. It always starts with the friends closest, and then it spreads out from there. But
that's true.
I love the quality of the shirt. It's I'll tell you that I got the XXX so I can have some room to breathe in it. My wife's like, "You should have got the 2. You should have got the 2X." And she's like, "That's too big for you." And I tried it on. I said, "No, it fits." I'm a growing boy.
Well, cinnamon rolls will do that to you.
Yeah, a couple. So, I've had several batches of cinnamon rolls. So,
did the logo come out okay on it? With the I know the fuzzy green.
The keyer is going to give you some problems because, like, you can see the beach, like the sand and the water through it. If it goes high enough, it turns blue.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is a feature just on my shirt. No one else is going to have this.
Right.
But like I mean, that's really nice right there.
I love it.
But it matches. It matches. I really do like it. Super happy. It looks just like the one up in the corner, up above, right up here above me. It's just on a black shirt.
You're the man for doing that. I appreciate it. So a quick audible. I have to highlight this comment because
one chip challenge.
Yeah. So as you know, we go on a ski trip every year with a group of friends, and that group of friends happens to be my neighbor. They've had a long standing trip, and a couple of years ago, they looped us in, and we go, and it's been amazing. It's been so much fun. And we have fun with them elsewhere. We barbecue and, wash cars, do yards and what have you. So he's always coming to me with podcast ideas because he's tuned in before. He watched, he's a supporter. So this right here is my next door neighbor.
All right.
Comment and wanting me to do this on the next podcast.
Nick, you're a lucky man. Thomas is an amazing guy. I wish I lived closer to him. But yeah, make him do the challenge. So I wouldn't do it. I would not.
He's convinced if I do it, we advertise it, we promote it, and tell the people I'm gonna do it on the next stream, that people will tune in and will watch just to see me melt in my chair and die. This is his bucket list.
That's the problem. When the live stream's over, the burn continues. And maybe even for 24 hours after that, there may be residual burning going on.
So I love really spicy stuff. In fact, when we do our barbecues, I make a fairly spicy salsa and bring it to them. And he assured me it's like a 5 to 10 minute burn and I'll live, and off I go. So
that's what they say. That's what they trick you into doing. It's a temporary, 1 glass of milk, you'll be better. It's like it never happened. I don't know. Nick, see,
Jen,
sure.
Jen's got my back.
Don't do it. I thought you were saying do it. You read it wrong.
I would not have highlighted that one. So
some friend you are, right?
Yeah. So the neighbor's out to kill me. But he's piqued my curiosity because I love really hot stuff and I love a challenge. I'm real competitive. So I'm going to mull it over the weekend. I will have an answer by Monday. So that way on your live streams, when we touch on the podcast, we'll either pretend this conversation never happened or we will say
we'll never talk about it again. Now, if it does go badly, which I anticipate it doing, the good thing is you can always invite him over for dinner, and revenge is best served cold. In this case, it's best served spicy hot.
You're absolutely right. I will definitely have some payback in mind. And if it goes bad, you can kick me off the screen. You can go full screen. You can take over the rest of the show, and then off we go.
I worry. I had a coworker do the 1 chip challenge at work, and his lung was collapsing. Like he was coughing so much, he like had to go to the hospital because felt like his lung was collapsing, and that worries me. But I guess he like got some of the powder down his throat, like breathed it in, and it was just, and the mucus and everything. I mean, the snot bubbling up thing, that was happening, and it was not pretty because we're in a call center, right? So everyone's got their headsets on, everyone's talking to tech support to people, and this guy's dying over there, just coughing and moaning and like rolling on the floor, and and the garbage cans, everyone's like, yes, thanks for calling. Have you tried turning it on and off again? And it was bizarre. So that's what worried me about it. I'm not helping. Sorry. You're not helping.
No, not helping at all. That's I don't know. I'm thinking about it. Again, I like the challenge. I think people watch NASCAR to watch the wrecks, right? People are going to tune into the podcast to watch me, go through complete horror over this chip. But I don't know. I watched Sam the Cooking Guy. He's a big one. I love watching his stuff, and he's kind of animated and gets out there a bit. But his son is his cinematographer, filmer, whatever you call it, and his son's friend does all their edits. So they all did it and set up a thing, and it was hilarious. He was just swearing up and down, left and right, whose idea it was, and they were just dying. And I'm like, okay, maybe not. So sure. I don't know. We'll see.
I might not. I mean, I definitely have, my reserve milk ready to go.
I'm gonna need that virtually to hand that back to me. So
it's gone sour.
No, you just drank yogurt.
It's water. It's water. Oh man, Dean Sparks says, "Baby watch is still nothing." Dean, we're more on the edge of our seats. I hope everything is going well there. Obviously, you were anticipating a baby sooner than now, but any minute now. Hope mom and baby are doing great, and you'll have that to report on Monday for us.
What a time. That's awesome.
It's exciting.
That is exciting. How about we've got episode 12 on Friday, May 12th.
That's like a magic birthday when your date falls on, like when your birthday falls on the day of the month. Isn't that, they call that a magic birthday?
I think so. So, like Dean, tell your wife what's going on this podcast.
Yeah.
11:59 is the deadline.
So maybe I'm thinking this: if the baby is born before the podcast is finished, do we get naming rights?
I think so.
That's how it works. We're going to take some suggestions in chat. I don't know if they're expecting a boy or a girl, so we're going to need a boy and a girl's suggestion name. Wrong answers only. What should Dean name his child if it's born during the podcast tonight?
So Dean or Dina. If it's Dean, it's Junior or Dina. Scott Watch Sparks. Poor kid. No chance. That's bad.
The kid would be tortured anywhere he went. The other kids would just make fun of him.
Yeah.
It's a baby. It's a baby bouncing baby girl or boy. One of the two. Dean's going to be a daddy.
Dean, do you know? Do we know if Dean knows the?
I'm not sure if he shared that with us. He may know, but.
And he may not. Dean, I see you still in chat. Do you know yet? Or are you guys being surprised?
We're waiting for it. Loin Fire Sparks. I already named it. Oh, red pen. Oh, it's a girl. It's a girl. People are saying it's a girl.
Okay.
So Loin Fire is probably out. I'm saying.
So we go with Dina.
Dina Watch.
Well, oh no, I was gonna out Mrs. RA's name, but I stopped, so I quit.
She shares her name on her channel. That wouldn't be a big secret. But.
So Dina Watch Jen Sparks. Watch just ruins. It
just rolls off the tongue. Well, weather doesn't fit either, so it's like
too many syllables.
Dean, we're laughing a little bit. We know that this is an exciting time and a nerve-wracking time for you as well. Just know our hearts and prayers are with you and your wife and your little baby. So we hope everything goes well there. Cash baby for sure. Cash baby says Stovetop Sue. That's got to be one in the mix.
In reality, we all know it's a cash baby in the opposite direction.
Oh,
right, more towards the red. It's
The hospital will get their fair share.
When you do it 6 times. Goodness gracious.
Yeah. That's good.
Holy mackerel. I read a stat, and I'm not going to quote it because it's been years and things have changed since then. But it was a stat about the cost of raising a child from birth until, I think, till pre-college.
Okay.
So they didn't include college tuition if the parents paid for it or something.
Are you gonna make me cry here? This may be news for me.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna not quote the number, but it was so crazy high when I read it, and it was an average, right? Everyone lives within their, or not within their means, but everyone has their own relative finances, so it was an average of that. But it was just the cost to raise the child for 18 years, and I looked at it, and went, my poor parents. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. So it's crazy.
Expensive. The cost of having children, and they're figuring everything. They're figuring everything from diapers and clothes, education expenses, housing,
food.
Yeah,
good gravy.
There are more commas in that number than there should be. It's wow, it's big. Let's see. We're getting. Let's see. Somebody said, Aaron Patterson said, "All right, bring everyone over to this." So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to send a message in chat. Okay. It says, if you can see this message on the podcast. Okay, so the only people who should see that message are the ones who are on the Recovery Addict page. And if you go to the description of the channel, there should be a link that will send you over to the podcast page. So you can join us over on the other page where it's just fun. We've got a good group over there as well. So about 115 of you are on the Recovery Addict page. We need to move over to the other page because I believe next time we will not be on Recovery Addict anymore. So you will miss out unless you go over there and click the subscribe button. You'll just miss out on all the fun. And we'll miss you.
But I'm not a member there.
You don't need to be a member.
Nobody is.
Good thing we don't even have any mods over there. It's like the Wild West of the internet over there. Anything goes.
No, don't. I've seen what this group has done in the late hours of the evening. We do not advertise that.
Let's do a quick roll call over there, just to let you know who you'll be hanging out with if you came over. I'll go through them really quickly here. Just give me 5 seconds to catch up here. Okay, so we've got Portland Trailblazers TV, who was first in chat, by the way, first one there. Annie Marie, Brianne Malcolm, Aaron Patterson, 6 Volt Bus, Denise Feldman Ersland, CG in Texas, 6 Volt again, sorry. Queen Olive, Suzanne, Tabitha, me, I'm over there. Let's see, Jim Bob is there. Let's see, Ritz, Wallflower, JT Brews Crime is there. Debbie, who else do we have? Jimmy Lawson. I'm missing a couple of people.
Even I'm on the wrong one.
Tori, the seed lady, is there. See, Weatherwatch, I see in there now. Gotcha. Cass, Annie Marie, Aaron Patterson. Just catching up. Judy is over there. Thank you, Judy. Ben. Hello, Ben. Good to see you there. Ellen Boggs. See.
Hey, are you looking at your channel or the Not Relevant channel?
I should be looking at the Not Relevant channel.
Because you just said you see me. I'm pretty sure.
I see you.
I just commented on yours.
I see you in the Not Relevant channel. Yep.
Okay.
No, you're in the right one. Right.
I fix it.
Guys, we're not streaming here in the future. Please click the link and join us next door. Thanks, Samantha. We will need, eventually, we'll need some mods over here. I don't know exactly how that's going to go. I'll have to talk to Thomas about that. But, just because you're a mod on the other channel doesn't mean you have to be a mod here. You might be able to take a break on the weekends. We might need some other people. So keep that in mind. We'd love to have people come over and join. Anyway.
Absolutely.
Where are we going to start? We have a podcast to do tonight. What do you want to start with?
I forgot what we're doing. Yeah, that's right. It's Friday.
It's about 8:20 about my time. But
Judy, join the club.
Wonderful. Thanks, Judy.
So are we. That's why we're here. Yeah, we do. We have a few fun stories, as we typically do. And then from there, I figured we'd kind of segue into a little bit of Mom's Day theme, maybe special weekend for several, right?
Yes, it is. Mother's Day. Now, I don't know if this is celebrated internationally on the same date, so it might just be for the U.S. listeners. But Mother's Day is on Sunday. Today we celebrate mothers of all ages and basically women in general is what it's come out to be. Even those who may be future mothers or who would like to be mothers and never had the opportunity, or maybe are sort of fill-in mothers. So pretty much everybody gets bundled up into this.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone deserved. You've got stepmoms, you've got common law moms, you've got girlfriends, longtime girlfriends that have stepped up and take care of kids. I mean, all of it, right? It's motherly duties are being celebrated. It's kind of the way I look at it myself, but yeah. So it's Friday. It's Friday night. It's been a long week. We dive in. So I know, and we've got friends across the pond. People are firing up coffee or getting ready for bed, but I know a cup of coffee to keep people up. Here's what's really fun. Some people love going to Starbucks, right? And you give them the name or the fake name, to hear the barista call out the fake name or what have you, right?
Who gives their real name? I mean, ever. This is like the adult version of The Simpsons when Bart calls and asks the bartender to call out some name. Usually it's highly inappropriate. But this Starbucks is like the adult version of that, where you're like, can I get him to say this name? And you just slide him in. Jennifer Aniston, your coffee. Like, oh, that's me.
Hello. And Bill walks up to get, but yeah. So I guess along with Star Wars, I don't drink coffee either.
I have a confession, but I'm saving it till later in the podcast.
Guilt. I know you don't, because you only have water and Steven's hot cocoa on stream.
Well,
so I know you don't drink coffee either.
I don't.
But
But
I'll wait.
my confession is on par with your Star Wars confession.
This is going to be awesome.
But go ahead. I'm not going to interrupt anymore. My lips are sealed.
So, Brooklyn, New York, Steamin' Bot Coffee. Because it's a coffee shop, no baristas, and nobody. They're having a robot in there serving your lattes all morning long. It's a bot, only a bot, not manned by a human at all. Only a bot.
You might think this is weird, but I think that this store needs to have a YouTube channel where you can just watch the bot make the coffee and serve it. You need to see like it can be like multiple camera angles. You've got the customer line or the drive-through or whatever it is, where you see the order, and then the bot's, the arms going, reaching around, cups filling up, lids, handing it out. I would watch that. I would watch that all day long.
So I think that's brilliant. So this bot will make up to 50 cups of coffee an hour, and he can also, it's a bot. It can perform little robot dances and other items. But it's funny.
Without spilling?
The article, it hasn't been edited, and it doesn't say, and there was no disclaimer. But yeah, so there are citizens in Brooklyn that some are, I can't wait to try it, and others are, keep that away from here. No way, no how. But it's coming very, very soon. Not like next year soon, like within a month.
There is something personal about hearing your name called out for your order that I think I would miss.
So,
well, I'd give it a try. Not if they made like hot cocoa or something. I'd be like, Mr. Robot, sir, could I have a large, what is it, El Grande Steven's hot cocoa with cream, no sugar. I mean, it's already full of sugar, but no more sugar. And 2 straws, please. I'd give it a try just to see what it did.
I would want to watch. Absolutely. I'd want to see how it works, especially when you think about, I've been to Starbucks. Our daughter likes to get Starbucks once in a while, and you watch the assembly line of them flipping through the drinks and breakfast sandwiches and cake pops, specifically for when they get them. But how the way the article portrayed it is a robot, not multiple. So I'd be curious to watch how it's all set up to make all the different drinks. And maybe it's a selective menu. The article didn't touch on it.
I hope it's a humanoid type robot. I think that would add a lot to it. If it was just like conveyor belts and a cup dispenser, then it's a solid pass for me. But if there's like arms reaching around, grabbing things and passing, that I would go for. That's just for the show.
So the picture now, albeit I don't know if it was a real picture of, this is him in action. I keep saying him. It had like 6 to 8 arms in a circle. Oh, it looked like Obi-Wan Kenobi with 8 arms.
Road trip. We've got to go check it out. That'd be cool. I feel like I'll confess, one of my first jobs was working at McDonald's, and I feel like I was on the front line of this technological wave that we're now riding. Yeah, as we talk about food service, because our fry machine, it wasn't really a robot. It was more like an automated fry machine where you would put all the fries in the hopper and it would fill the thing, and it would it was like chain driven on the back, and it would just go over in there, lift up over. It was all on timer, but it was sort of like a robot. It was very much like a robot, but there was no arms. There was nothing. It was like
just all automated.
Yeah, it was just automated. So I sort of got to see the future when I was a teenager. The fries tasted great. So I'd say in that case, the robot worked. And it was one less thing I had to do. I mean, the ding, fries are done. That part was gone.
Ding, fries are done. Ding, fries are done.
Good song.
That song forever stuck.
There's an earworm for you.
Bull butter.
Yeah, I think I'd go check that out. It was although with the loss of the barista, that's a job that's got somebody.
That's what I don't like. It's so to go on to that portion. So I'm a habitual Walmart shopper. There's a couple local stores here that I love some of their produce and their meat more I go to, but our Walmart's 1.8 miles away. And I go there all the time because I work from home and I didn't used to. It's changed the way I think and how my day goes. So I don't shop for 3 to 4 days ahead of time. I shop for the day of because it gets me out of the house every day. Well, because of that, I've gotten to know a lot of my Walmart employees here. So
They know you. You don't just know them, but they know you.
Loss prevention has a picture of me on their wall, and every time I walk in, they're going, "What's this? What's the deal here? We're gonna catch him one day." I mean, it's just it's gonna happen. Darnell,
Wanted.
100%, right? I know they're on to me. They're trying to figure out what laws I'm not. I'm just giving all my money to you guys. But shout out to Darnell, the old gray-haired fella who checks me out at the door on the way by. He's so awesome and friendly. But I feel bad. Our local one just went through a big renovation where they took out, 30 of the registers, which albeit were, only manned 5% of the time anyways, or 5% of them were manned, right?
And poorly when they were.
100%. And now it's all, self checkout. And so I kind of see it and how it goes. So I do feel bad for those that lost their job because of that. And everything's all just self checkout and out you go. But I get why they did it because
you know what we did
for them.
Our Walmart did the same thing. Every check stand is self-checkout at our Walmart. Every single one, unless you're at the customer service counter, you need to buy like cigarettes or something like that. They have to, check ID, or every single one is self-checkout.
Everyone?
Every single one. There's no option for help. As a matter of fact, trying to get them to help you is like, nope, sorry. You've got to figure it out on your own. And it's a pain in the butt. But what we switched to is we said, okay, we're just going to order online and then you're going to bring it out to the car. So we're now employing those same checkers who would have been checking it out to go around the store, fill up the basket with what we want, to bring it out to the car. And so in that way, we're keeping them employed. And I refuse to check out and pay for those stinking bags at 10 cents a bag or whatever, which we use like 30 of them because we shop every 2 weeks and 2 carts full of food. But
so we haven't hit the paid for bags yet. And at least I'll say in my county in Texas, I think some counties have already, but our county has not yet hit the pay for bags. So when I go back and visit my dad during holidays or whatever, and I go to the store, my night to cook. And then I get to the register and like, okay, do you want to pay for your bag? I always forget. What? Oh, no. Oh, fine. So I'm so used to it here. We don't, but yeah, that's why.
Just a mod note there. So on the topic of jobs, I was actually had another story that was similar. I want to sort of insert that here. There's a teacher in China, like a kindergarten teacher, the equivalent of a kindergarten teacher.
Will you say China again?
I say it just the way you say it.
No, chat. Can we get a vote on that?
In China. Is that?
No, that was good.
China. How did I say it?
I'm going to leave it alone. It was too funny.
I'm going to go back and watch the live. Oh, man. Anyway, so there's a teacher in China. She's teaching kindergarten, or the equivalent of kindergarten, and she teaches like nursery rhyme type things to the kindergartners. And one of the ways she helps them is she made little videos and put it on YouTube. A lot like Matthew Harris when he started his channel. He, to help out his clients, there's some things that are very routine that they could watch and learn from a video instead of spending it and paying the big bucks to sit with a lawyer and have them explain it to them. So the teacher does this for the nursery rhymes for the kids. And it's got a few followers. I mean, she's got quite a few followers actually on YouTube, and her followers convince her to say, hey, you should do a live stream. And so she does her first ever live stream on YouTube. Her channel is already monetized. That first live stream, she made 10 years salary. She earns $430 a month. And in her first live stream, she made like 70 grand.
No way.
US dollar equivalent. And so she quit her job. She's focused on her live streams now. She's got a agency representative. She's made over $2 million now. So just like boom.
It was in her first live stream. She made
first live stream.
Not
10 years,
like
10 years teacher salary. On her very first. She says she went live, and it was the super chats that just came flowing in, and they were extremely generous. And boom.
Wow.
10 years.
Good for her.
So
it's not easy to do.
I quit. So one more job opening there that's available.
That's awesome. Katie, who are we talking about? It's a teacher in China. We don't know who she is specifically or have any ties to, but that's incredible.
I could tell you her name if you want it. Let's see. It is.
He's trying. Let's
see.
I mean, that's
her surname is Huang, Huang. They just go by their last name. And she does just nursery rhymes. And the nursery rhyme that went viral, one of them was planting flowers in the garden. And then it gives it in Chinese as well, but it just looks like squiggles to me. I don't know what it means. Over 100 million views on one of her videos.
100 million.
Boom. Oh, and by the way, I said 2 million yuan, not $2 million.
Oh gosh. Okay.
So the equivalent is $288,000. I think I said dollars, and that would be incredible. That would be like Mr. Beast level. We'll talk about him later.
Yeah. Oh, I like it. That's awesome. Good for her, because I mean, this is what you do every day, all day long. It takes some guts to get on stream and do a live and put yourself out there. It's scary. The first few times when you and I first kind of met and formed a relationship, and I said, hey, I do weather. Can I come on and do a quick thing? There were so many times I was so nervous to just talk about some weather that I love looking at and I love talking about. And my friends and family are so worn out about me talking weather. But you say, hey, I'll come on the Zoom link. And this is, at that time, I think you had maybe 1,000 subs. And
there were like 50 of us online at a time.
50 people in chat. And I'm sitting in this very same seat, scared to death of, I have to talk on the screen. It's scary. It really, really is. So good for her to go ahead and put that out there and just give it a shot and make it happen. That's awesome.
I will say, honestly, I try to be extremely nice and friendly to everyone the first time they're on. And generally I do all the time. But, I'm really a nice guy in person. But I try to make it the first time somebody gets on to say that wasn't hard, that wasn't as scary as I thought it would be, and so they want to do it again.
You're 100% right. It is very, very scary leading up to it, and then when you do it, you end up having a lot of fun. And when you hang up or you close out the video, whatever, it was completely worth it. It was a good time. It was enjoyable, and it's well worth it. So I'm with you. I echo that. If anyone wants to go live to do their own videos or call in as a guest to any show anywhere, and you're kind of reserved or a little nervous, just do it. You will have a blast once you're done.
We have the capability right now to bring anyone who's watching on a phone or computer right into the live stream with a click of the link. You know that?
So
we could do this. This could be somebody's big debut. I'm not sure if Thomas is willing to go there, because it's also a risk, as on the streaming side. It's like, we never know. We might send the link to a troll. He's like, this is the moment I'm going to destroy their channel. With one word, suddenly we're off the air.
Yeah, 4-second delay on the stream is not quite enough to censor something that could happen. So it's pretty much out there. But no, I encourage it and I love it. Anyone out there, if someone wants to dial in or call in, and if they have the fear of, but they want to be a part of, just do it. You feel so good afterwards. It's really rewarding.
And if you want to talk off the air, I answer the burner phone off the air as well. I've helped people with their YouTube channels off the air, just giving them some advice. Happy to do it for you. Seriously, it's blessed my life. If I can give a little bit back, that's awesome. Anyway, so there's our our job stories.
That's where they're at. So let's see. Let's check chat real quick. See if anyone is begging to call in and have their voice heard and get over their fear. I've seen a couple. Not me.
The viewer count dropped suddenly when we said we can bring you on live.
Just tanked.
We can't force you to come online. So that maybe I misspoke. We can't turn on your camera. The phone's ringing. Hey,
here it is.
Hold tight here. We're trying to get the connection working. Amber, can you hear me?
I'm here.
Hey, how's it going?
How are you?
Doing well.
I miss y'all. It's only been a few days, and I miss y'all.
You got to jump on the end of the live stream today. I think you said you canceled like some high level meeting and made your boss watch the verdict in Lori Vallow. Is that what I understood?
No, I paused.
Oh.
So we were still in the middle of the meeting, and we still needed to get some stuff done. And I said, no, you're going to have to give me a moment, because I just got breaking news I notified everybody about. And at 2:45, I have to tune into something. So we're going to take a break at 2:45.
That's awesome.
Well, I took the break, and the only piece I got to, so I've got to go back and watch after they read the verdict. I would assume they polled the jury.
Yes.
I didn't even see that part. All I saw was just the reading through the charges, guilty or not guilty, and what the final verdict was. So that's all I got. I didn't even get to polling the jury.
Well, you got the important part.
So I gotta go back and watch.
You missed all the lead up to it, which was a lot of fun with JT and Brandy. We had a blast there. But Amber, you back to the topic sort of the podcast. You have called in a couple times and were nervous when you first called in. Could you like vouch for what Thomas said? You know, about how do you just call in, figure out get over that first call, get over those first call nerves.
So for anybody who gets nervous for stuff like this, the first thing you need to do before you hit the call button is turn down the volume of the live stream. Period.
Yeah.
Because that made me even more nervous, because I could hear myself on the live stream.
Good advice.
So if you turn the volume down on your whatever it is you're watching your live stream on, you can't hear yourself call into the show. So it just sounds like you're talking to a friend.
Yeah, it's just a phone call.
You don't realize that however many people are in chat are watching this conversation unfold.
And it's pretty easy.
It is pretty easy. So that would probably be my biggest thing is mitigating the issue of hearing yourself.
Amber, I was just going to turn this up a little bit in the background, just so you would hear yourself.
Issue of hearing.
just for fun.
I mean, it doesn't bother me anymore now, but I mean, Lisa, I completely agree. Just down a barrel one or one of the two.
Yeah, the nerves are gone, but at the same time, you lose the inhibitions. You might say a few things you might regret later, if that's the way to do it. But anyway,
or the filter may not be as present it needs to be.
Jim Bob's like, hang on. Jim Bob's right here. They come in barrels. Where do I sign up for the barrel? Barrel delivery.
Yeah, but see, with that previous comment that was just up, the about still knowing that you'd have so many people watching.
Wendy, yeah.
No, because you don't have to watch the show while you're on the phone. Why? Because it gets distracting, because you're looking at the actual stream video and watching Scott and Thomas doing what they're doing, and then you're seeing the chat scrolling, and you can't focus on what you're talking about or being asked, what you're watching them do and acting like fools. That needs to be screen grabbed for later, and then seeing the questions and all sorts of fun stuff happening in the chat. So just don't look at the screen. Turn the volume down.
Yeah,
and
I would say that
look at the screen.
If you have any desire or wonder what it would be like, do it. Call in, talk. It's probably going to be not nearly as bad as you think it was, and you'll be glad you did it. And if you didn't do it, you'll always wonder, like, oh, I probably should have. I wonder what would have happened if I had called. Just call. It's that easy.
Right. And there's no awkward silence. Your first time calling, there is something to talk about. Hey, so-and-so, great to have you call in. Why don't you tell me where you're from? What do you think about this? It's not like there's going to be dead silence on the phone and be like, all right, well, I guess I'll go now.
Yeah.
Thanks for answering my call, and I didn't think of it. So,
Amber, great advice. Great advice.
Just do it.
Sure, appreciate it.
Oh, wait, I can't say that because that's copyrighted, isn't it?
There we go. There went the monetization. Thanks, Amber. Appreciate you.
I just tell myself that everyone in chat is having their own
I just had to
conversation and ignoring me anyways.
I heard you talking about calling in, and I was like, here's my chance, because I don't dare call in during the day when I have no idea what's going on. I have not been able to watch the trial at all.
Yeah.
Maybe Monday and Tuesday is all I got.
It just sucks to have a job,
does.
Pay bills, do all those responsible, the adulting thing. It's rough.
Curse the adulting, and those bills needed to be paid. I'm just saying, like
I'm glad you're
I
putting your
couldn't
priorities
even
first.
just have it in the background.
Yeah. Get your priorities right. There'll be times when you can be there live. So Amber, thank you so much. Appreciate the call. Sure. We'll catch you later. Absolutely. Have a great weekend. All right.
You too.
We'll see you.
Bye. Bye, Amber.
Awesome.
That's too funny. I'm
following the barrels of wine conversation back and forth with Lisa and Jim Bob.
Straws and Jimbo, can you shotgun a barrel? You can, but I don't think you're going to want to be around tomorrow or the day after.
Hey, Cass, I don't think Amber knows about Brandon and Pro Se and exactly how much fun we're going to have on Monday. That'll be a surprise to her. Don't tell her. Nobody tell her about that. It's going to be
might have spoiled the news. No, I didn't spoil it. No, I'm kidding. That's awesome. I've got a severe thunderstorm warning poking right up my back door right now. This is great.
Amber's calling in. Hang on.
Oh, what happened?
Hello?
Wait, don't tell me about what?
Nothing. Nothing. You're breaking up, Amber. Sorry.
No, I actually had another reason to call.
Yeah, what's that?
Would you like to have a few mods over on the actual, podcast YouTube channel?
We definitely will. I'm going to talk with Thomas because he's the other half. It's not just my decision. So I'll talk with him and we'll probably work something out. Maybe have some new mods, maybe have some old mods. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to go. But right now it's the Wild West.
Just know your comment section. Yeah, just know your comment section on the podcast channel is completely and totally
unregulated.
It's being watched, but that's all we can do.
It's unregulated.
Yeah, I can't even control anything. I've clicked on a few comments.
But yes, I have plans of trying to catch up on the current case that we're watching. So I'm hoping to be prepared for Monday.
Awesome. You better catch up because Monday might be the last day. We might have verdict on Monday. Seriously. It's that crazy. Anyway, I don't want to spoil it. We're not going to talk true crime here because we're trying to relax for the weekend. But we've got all sorts of things. We've got Mother's.
I'm going to be up all night.
We have Mother's Day this weekend.
We do, and I actually got my Mother's Day present early, so I'm really excited.
That's awesome. All right, thank you, Amber. Appreciate you.
All righty.
We'll see you.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
We do. We have Mother's Day. Amber, thank you for calling. Amber's a mother herself. I think she's got one of the terrible twos. Tyrannical twos, terrible twos, terrific twos.
Terrific. Yeah, let's look at it. When they're older and they've moved away, you look back and it's the terrific twos. But if it's during, then it's the terrible or something worse.
It is. So in the spirit of Mother's Day weekend, it's not Mother's Day, it's Mother's Day weekend, right? Shout out to all those moms in chat for all that you do. Stepmoms, biological moms, girlfriend moms, whatever it is. If you're a mother figure,
it takes a village, and sometimes there's moms that aren't technically moms that really raise kids for someone. And
100%.
All of us, when we look back, we've got people like that maybe it was a friend's mom who really stepped in and helped out a ton, and there was sort of like a surrogate mom, so to speak. But they're all included.
Sometimes, depending on the family, it's an older sister that stepped in and played mom. It's just, you never know. So if you're in that situation, shout out to you for that. It's awesome. It's kudos. It's one of my favorite holidays. Whenever you honor, I love Father's Day. I love Mother's Day. For me, it's more, I'm not a big birthday person for me, generally, right? I didn't do anything to deserve or earn my birthday, right? Other people did that work. But moms and dads, I love celebrating the work that they do and everything out there. I think it's incredible. So with that being said, as everyone knows in chat and watching the show, we typically do a top 3. We rank them from 3 to 1 or vice versa of some category or another. This week, we're going to kind of segue into memories with mom. And we're just going to share 1 or 2 of our favorites, no particular order, not one's better than the other, but just a couple of memories we have with ours. We thought that'd be kind of cool. This podcast versus the top 3. What do you think, Scott?
I love it. I love it. But I have to say, I want to include anyone that fits in that mom category. So I'm going to include my wife or my mom, both in that story. Stories about either one, because my wife's a mom. My mom obviously is a mom. Is that fair?
Well, if you don't want to sleep on the couch, I think that's appropriate. That includes Mrs. Already.
This is exactly why. although depending on the story I share, it might get me back on the couch.
Let's go for good stories for 500, Alex. Do you have one?
I'll start. Let me just say, I didn't always sound like I do now. This voice, the deep sound, even before, if I were to turn off all the audio processing, which isn't a whole lot, even though I turn it back to this, that sounds awful. But still, without the voice processing system, my voice didn't sound like it does now. There was a time when I would answer the phone and the caller would say, "Oh, Mrs." and announce my mom's name, because I sounded like my mom. And it was humiliating beyond belief to be like, no, actually, this is her son. I'm trying to change my voice to match, sound as manly as I possibly could, because they mistook me for my female parental figure on the phone. And so I think that's what drove me to try to speak in a lower voice, and then my voice sort of graduated to that area. But looking back now, I'm like, I have so much respect for my mom and what she did. Now I sort of I'm glad people mistook me for my mom, because my mom is a good person, and does just amazing stuff. And it's sort of like an honor to be able to say, yeah, people thought I was my mom. And I hope that my life in how I live and what I do, people will say he's just like his mom in that way.
That's awesome. Wow. I've got nothing now. So do you have another one?
I do.
Because I've got nothing now.
Okay, so let's go with something funny. That was like a touching one. Let's go with something funny. And this is from Mrs. R.A. We live in Eastern North Carolina, and for those that aren't familiar with Eastern North Carolina, it's flat. The water doesn't know which way to run, because there's just no slope to the ground out here. There's no hills where we live. It's not like Kansas type flat, but it's close. We are an hour and a half from the beach, and I think we're at 60 feet elevation. It gives you an idea of, and there's no rise between here and the beach. It looks, perfectly flat. Obviously, there's trees and things in the way, but so we went to the beach, and we went actually up on OBX together. Out there on OBX up around Kitty Hawk, which is where the Wright brothers did their whole little human kite experiment.
Little escapade.
And it was quite successful. I think it kicked off something that might really take off one day.
Got trendy.
Yeah. Yes. It'll blow over. It's just a fad. But yeah, we went up to the Wright Brothers Museum, where there's a big monument. There's that big hill where they used the wind that comes off the ocean and the hill and everything to get the lift they needed to get airborne, because there's nowhere their machine would have taken off by itself. It just did not have the power. But they managed to figure out how to do that. And so we go out there and we're celebrating, just learning about this and celebrating their great achievement as we see the tools they use to build it, a model of the plane, life-size model and everything. And one of the things you get to do is you go out and you get to hike up this hill. So we're flatlanders now, after being here in North Carolina for 4 years with no hill whatsoever. And here we are marching up this massive mountain. It's only like 200 feet tall. Okay. It's not like huge, but 200 feet is a lot. So you can imagine it's a bit of a workout going up these, you seem to be zigzagging back and forth. It's got switchbacks, and you get all the way up to the top. You can stand at the very top and look out over the expanse when you can see forever when you're 200 feet up in the air. And my wife gets all the way up to the top. She stands up and she puts her arms up in the air. She's like, Adrian, because, you know, in the Rocky movie, you know, after this huge, massive fight, that's all he wants is to call out to Adrian. So she's put in all the rounds. She's gone the full distance and reached the top and does the whole Rocky yell. Now, I took a picture of that. I'm like, hey, do it again. I took a picture. I've got a picture of her with her arms up doing the yell. Here's where my confession comes in. I told you I'd have one. I've never seen Rocky. Never. Not any of the Rocky. I know there's like 18, 19. I forget how many are in the series. I've never seen Rocky. And so I had no idea why she's yelling at some guy named Adrian from the top of this mountain. But clearly it was impactful for her. So I took a picture. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And she's like, you didn't laugh? You didn't anything? I'm like, no, I quite frankly, I don't think they heard you because nobody turned around. It was like, oh, hey, you know, I'm Adrian. I'm down here. I had no idea. Till today, my wife tells me that story again. We were talking about it. And so I got on YouTube and I watched the Rocky Adrian clip. And I watched him running up a bunch of stairs and suddenly it's funny. So I wanted to share that. My wife is a funny lady. And she has the best moments like this where she will use movie quotes in just regular life. And that's one of the things we do. It's sort of in our relationship, we often will speak to each other in little clips from movies. Like, you know, I've got one job on this ship type thing, you know, and that's, anyway, so that's my story. Number 2. And don't at me. I've never seen Rocky. That's worse than Star Wars, says Annie.
I'm just letting that one sit there and marinate. That's incredible.
Scott was today's years old, says Wendy. Scott was today years old.
Scott, for a minute, I've got the highlighting of comments job here. Let's see.
You've got it? Okay.
I'm just going to scroll right through. They're just going to keep on coming. Okay.
Oh,
this is true. We've got
Suzanne. Who else? There's got to be somebody else. Okay, first of all, I was floored that so many people had not seen Star Wars. There's got to be people out here who have never seen Rocky.
No, only one. Only one.
I know you're here. Even if you're a lurker, this may be the first time you've ever spoken on the channel.
No, don't go recruiting.
To come forward now.
Recruiting. No.
Boom. Then. Woo. Then bails me out.
I want to call this one out, but I'm not going to. This is not a fair ally.
Fair. Ben, thank you. Thank you, Ben.
No.
Thank you.
No. Ben?
No, just me. Wow.
Yep.
Tabitha.
Just
Tabitha.
keep it coming.
Tabitha.
No, remember. No. I'm highlighting comments. This is selective viewing only.
This is not fair.
All right.
Oh.
So Tabitha is on board because we both get a bone here.
Okay. Yep.
So
I knew I was not alone in this.
Oh, here we go. Lindy.
Honestly.
No Star Wars. Yes to Rocky. Yep.
I think I watched when I was a kid. We grew up without a television, right? Family, we just didn't watch TV at home. I think we had a TV, but it was not connected to the antennas, and we definitely didn't have cable. So we just didn't watch television. So we'd sneak over to the friend's house and watch TV over there. And so I think I watched every single Jean-Claude Van Damme fight movie there is. Every single one. Every single one. I've never seen any of the Rockies, and honestly, I don't think he's a very good actor. It always seems just weak. Did you see Rambo though? No, I've never seen Rambo either. I've never seen Rambo. All right, your age, please. I'm a little bit over halfway to 90, if that helps.
Jen, I like Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Should do a poll: Star Wars or Rocky?
No, we don't want to start a war in the chat. Oh, that's too funny.
Anyway, do you have a Mother's Day story? One or two?
I do.
I have one more, but it might make me sleep on the couch. But
you gonna dox yourself anymore in any sort of situation? Because I'm having a lot of fun with this. This is totally getting me in my opinion, off the hook from last weekend, but not to the chat. Yeah, I have a fun one.
Mm.
I have the most supportive parents in the world. They were awesome growing up. Greatest childhood. And my mom was funny. My dad and I loved outdoorsy stuff. You know, I played hockey my whole life from the time I was, shoot, I don't know, 7 all the way until it became my career for a little bit. And they were great. But the outdoorsy stuff. So we'd go camping once in a while. A lot of times my dad and I would go backpacking solo, like, you know, out in the wilderness and whatnot in the Sierras where you solo camp, not on a campground. You hike for 3 days in and all that. So sometimes we'd go to a family campground and invite mom. And we had this old, I wish I remember what year it was, old Suburban, right? It didn't have the bread truck doors, but it had the tailgate with the roll up window, just the big giant box.
Love them.
And so yeah, I loved it too. Right? You could fit everything in. So she would come, but she didn't love sleeping on the floor, on the ground, in the dirt, in a tent and whatnot. So we'd put an air mattress in the back of the Suburban, take out all the seats so she could stay in there. No dirt, no weather, no bugs. And then Dad and I are on the tent, you know, right there in a little tent spot. So I'll never forget where we get set up at this place in the Sierras, and we're all, s'mores are done, camping's done, and she climbs into the Suburban and her air mattress and her blankets and everything's getting all cozy. And, you know, Dad and I are crawling in the tent, kicking our boots off outside so we don't get tracked in, and sleeping bags. And back then, little foam pad is all you kind of put in your tent and whatnot. And I don't know, we're maybe 30 minutes into the evening of bedtime when we just hear this like, ah! Like, what? So Dad jumps out and I go curiously searching for Dad. So in the airtight, no dirt, no weather, no bug Suburban air mattress, there's a giant spider right on the side column by her pillow.
Oh my goodness.
So my dad, we just, of course we see it. We're like, well, it's just a spider. We'll get it here in a second. But we just look at each other and just die laughing because not a knock. I get it. But the Princess and the Pea in her area was the one that got the big giant spider. Our tent was spotless. It was perfectly clean.
and good luck convincing her that that's the only spider in there and there's no more. The whole rest of the night, she's going to be shining the light around all over inside there, watching anytime there's a slightest movement. She's going to
that was the last trip that he and I slept in a tent. She had that. If it was a family affair, it was in a little camper RV that we rented. Otherwise, just Dad and I solo out in the tent. But it made me laugh so much. I loved it.
Yeah. My wife does not do spiders either. Not a big fan of spiders. She also doesn't do birds in the house. Although we've had a couple. Did I share this story with? Okay, let me. If I've shared this before, stop me. But I wasn't going to share this one. But my wife and I both have ham radio licenses. Okay, so we have little radios we can talk to each other using repeaters. It's a little bit nerdy, but we like it. It's great for emergencies.
I've got one.
And she's done some. You know, she's been a dispatcher, sort of net control for big events and things like that. And I've played in the same arena as well. Anyway, so I'm out on the freeway. I don't know, probably I'm driving home from work and I get this call on the radio that she's trying to get a hold of me. And so I respond back. I'm like, hey, what's up? And she's like, hey, there's a bird in the house. And you realize with ham radio, it's not like a one-to-one call. It's like one to many.
Yeah.
So everyone can hear what's going on. So it's not a private conversation in any way. As a matter of fact, everybody who's on the frequency in the whole valley, maybe a couple hundred people, are listening at any time. And so we're having this conversation. She's explaining how there's a bird in the house so she can hear it in the chimney flapping around, and I need to come home and fix it. And I'm trying to say, are you sure? Just open the door. Is it how to get in there? It just doesn't make sense. Anyway, so all my ham radio buddies call me the Birdman now as a result of this. But true story. We get home and one of those little starlings has flown in our chimney, has a little grate around it. And the little grate had opened up and it had flown in and gone down the chimney. And so it was all the way down, stuck on top of the flue, which was closed above the fireplace. So I take the top off the chimney and I'm like, how do I get this bird to come out? And it can't fly because birds have to fly forward. They can't fly straight up.
They can't. Yeah.
Okay? And so I'm like, I've got an idea. And I got a rope and I lowered a rope all the way down to the bottom. And the bird grabbed hold of the rope and I lifted it all the way up, and it flew away.
That's impressive.
Anyway, I don't know why I'm telling you the story, but it was my wife, and she got me a nickname about being the Birdman because all my ham radio buddies heard the story as she was describing the bird in the house and how I had to rush home to fix it.
It's funny you say that because I'm just picturing being on the local channel here with all the storm spotters and hearing one of them go, gotta go. Wife's got a bird in the house.
Yes, that's pretty much how it was. It was like all of us are talking about the manly things we're doing and, the radio antennas and, a new radio here and this, like a bird in the house, bird in the chimney. That was me.
Gotta go.
I was pretty impressed. The bird knew what to do. And it's obviously it was at sort of the end of its rope, so to speak, literally.
Oh.
But true story. That wasn't the one I was going to tell, though. I was going to tell a story that sort of will get me on the couch downstairs. If we've got time for one more, do we have one more?
No, I thought you had one. You're going to give Miss Ari accolades for Mother's Day, not on the couch. Oh, keep you off the couch. Would you say on the couch? No, you're gonna.
I'm in trouble. I'm just going to go with it.
All right. Saddle up, folks.
I wanted to be a little more healthy, right? And so we wanted to eat good food, and so we're searching up, our current, diet. There's foods we like that probably aren't the best foods to be eating on a regular basis. So we want to supplement and replace some of the snacks we eat during the day with something healthier. And one of the things you can use, and it's pretty popular, are smoothies. You can do some great smoothies out there, just amazing. They taste good. They're nutritious. You can make them so they're actually very healthy smoothies. And my wife found a great recipe for one that was a mango smoothie that was just everyone, it was to die for. Everyone was just raving about it. And so she goes to the store and gets all the ingredients for the smoothie, and it's awesome. And she mixes up this smoothie for me, and I give it this taste. And I've never had mango before. I'm like,
really?
I'm not a.
You never had mango until you're married?
Until this smoothie. I'm not a big fan of mango. I was like trying to drink it, and I'm like, this does not taste right. I'm like, the whole, it doesn't feel right in my mouth. And so I'm asking her, how did you make this? And she describes it. She cut up the mango, like quartered, and stuck it in the blender, peel and all.
The peel.
It was awful. It was absolutely awful.
Oh, the peel.
It's like eating a banana peel. Or I guess worse than orange, but it was not good. It was not good at all. And I still, to this day, I can't even try the mango habanero pickles because they have mango in them. And I've got this association with this smoothie of how it will taste if I taste them.
I can promise the pickles do not have the peel in there, but I can't
get over it.
I wondered where that was going. Yeah.
Now I'm sleeping on the couch tonight because
Happy
my
Mother's
wife
Day,
made
Jen.
me a mango smoothie. Jen, I love you. If you're listening, I don't think she is. I think she's going to bed. But anyway, that's it. Maybe if she's not listening, I might get away with sleeping on the couch one more night, and then tomorrow night I'll be on the couch because that's when she catches up.
You put yourself there last week too.
It's my own fault.
It's just
Yeah.
All right, so keep. I don't know why you keep doing it to yourself. So I've got some funny stuff. I think.
She's listening.
Oh no. Oh, here it is. Oh, yes.
Throw the pillow down. I told the mango story. Yeah, it was good. Thank you.
Oh, I'm listening. Period. That's a statement right there. Period. Yeah. That's good luck. Well, looks like you've got all the time in the world. This podcast can last 3, 4, 5 hours tonight.
We can go all night long. I've got nothing else on the schedule.
We've got a guest room if you need it.
I've got a smoothie with extra peel tonight, says Lizzie Dog.
Although I don't know if I can let you come stay in our guest room because Mrs. R and I we're still friends. I haven't done anything yet.
We're gonna find a way for you to fit on that couch. Oh, I'm in trouble.
We're good. Well, your scout days, you're camping, you've got sleeping bags. We're gonna find one.
Can we just move on? Is that all right? Do you want to tell any stories?
Yeah. So speaking of being grateful for mothers and our wives and not throwing them under the bus, I came across an article that actually has some funny stories. It's actually kind of funny because these are people that have funny experiences with their moms that they decided to share.
Okay.
So as much as we kind of bring them up, talk about, I do have to read some of them because there's a little bit more detail into it. But let's see. I have to skip through a few because I want to say there was 30 or 40. I'm not going to read them all, obviously. No, there's 22. There's about 8 of them or so that I think are funny. Weight loss contest. So mother and I were discussing our mutual weight problem one evening when I challenged her to a contest. If I lose the most weight in the next month, I wouldn't have to pay her the $6 that I owed her. If she lost the most weight, I would have to pay up, which I think part of me thinks that's a funny bet anyways. But all right, mom agreed. But let's wait 2 weeks before we start. There's some things I have to eat first. Which I love. Let's see. Some of them were kind of duds and some were kind of fun. So I need to skip through here and find the ones that I had here. This one of my favorites. So my cousin was in love and wanted to introduce his bride-to-be to his hypocritical mother. Okay. But in order to get an unbiased opinion, he invited over 3 other female friends as well and didn't tell his mom which one he intended to marry. After the 4 women left, he asked his mother, "Can you guess which one I want to marry?" I think people in chat might see where this is going. The one with short hair. He says, "Yes, how'd you know?" Because that's the one I didn't like.
Yep. She knows her son very well.
She nailed it. Yeah. Another kind of funny one too. A couple of hours into a visit with mother, she noticed I hadn't lit up a cigarette once. She says, are you trying to kick the habit?" "No," I replied. "I've got a cold and I can't have a cigarette when I'm not feeling well." Mom says, "You'd probably live longer if you were sick more often."
Nothing like a mother's love to really encourage you, just to it's not like an insult, but
just to speak the truth.
Yeah. They have that right.
Yeah. And then another funny one actually titles Her Native Tongue. Although I am of Chinese descent, I never really learned to speak Chinese. One evening, I came home boasting about a wonderful meal I had had in Chinatown. I couldn't remember the name of the restaurant, but wrote down the Chinese character on the door to show my mother. "Do you know what it says?" Mom asked while I smiled. "It says pull." just says pull, push on the door.
Enter, pull. That's how I am with Chinese. I tell you the Chinese story. It had Chinese characters in it from this morning or this afternoon, this evening, and I have no idea what it is. You've seen the people that get the tattoo and the Japanese. It's like, "Oh, I'm going to have a tattoo of these letters on." Find somebody who knows how to read Japanese and just have them read tattoos. You would be amazed what people have tattooed on them that they think means one thing, but it does not.
It means the other.
Yes, it means the other 100%. And the tattoo artist probably doesn't read Japanese either. He's just copying what you brought in on the paper, and he's going to make it look really good. But
or I think he does over time. He learns and goes, ha, ha, ha. I've got this one's really, really simple, but I think it's really funny based off of technology and where we are in today's age. So this is the last one of this article I'll go down, but it's I'm sure a lot of us in chat, we all remember Ask Jeeves online.
Yes.
Remember before Google and forums and anything else, right? You just went to
after
Ask Jeeves.
AOL, but before what was it, Netscape?
After AOL and before the tire, I think. My friend Nancy and I decided to introduce her mom to the magic of the internet. Buffer sound. We took her to Ask Jeeves and told her it could answer any question she had. As I sat with my fingers poised over the keyboard, Nancy's mother thought a minute, then responded, "How is Aunt Helen feeling?"
Say that one more time. Ask Jeeves, how is Aunt Helen feeling?
Nancy's mom typed in, how's Aunt Helen feeling? Jeeves.
Oh my goodness.
Ask the one question Jeeves does not know the answer to. I'm sure, well, I don't know if Jeeves had the, like you could ask Alexa or Siri. I don't want to trigger everyone's programs. You could ask.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm on headphones.
Hey,
it's
Alexa,
everybody else.
How's Aunt Helen feeling? It'll come up with a witty response.
It's funny because with the advent of AI, and it's in the news all over right now. Computers are getting very smart very quickly, and it won't be long before we might be able to ask questions like that and get the right answer. It's scary.
Can you imagine if I said, hey, Alexa, how's Scott feeling? And within like 30 seconds, your Alexa goes,
yeah,
hey,
it just
Scott,
accesses
Thomas
my heart
would like
monitor.
To know how you're feeling.
Like, well, his heart rate's a little high right now, and his blood pressure's off the charts. But other than that, he's pretty good.
Yeah, it gives me a report. It's crazy. I bet you're not far from that. And if you're not, we should start that because families would probably love to be connected.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. Mark my words. I'm thinking about tying I think I mentioned this on the live stream today. I'm thinking about tying my heart rate monitor from my Apple Watch into a light in my studio. So that when my heart rate gets really elevated, like at the end of a case as we're waiting for a verdict or something, and my watch is like, your heart rate is over 100 beats per minute and you haven't been moving for the last 10 minutes. So it can set off the alarm so you guys can know when my stress level is just off the charts. I think that would be funny.
So here's my initial thought to that.
It's a little creepy. It is.
Well, my thought comes as a moderator of your channel, because once it's known and we're in a situation when we have another 10,000 in chat, that the triggering in chat that could take place just to try to get strobe lights and stuff going from your heart, it's not ideal for your moderators.
If you guys knew the technology that already exists that I could put in place to let just chat cause mayhem on the channel. It's
the commands that you could set up are insane.
Anything I do on my rip my headphones off my head. Anything I do on this little box, there's no battery there. That's interesting. On this little box, all these settings of a million different things I can do over here. Every single one of them can be triggered by chat remotely if I set it up.
Bad idea.
It could be at the same time on the right stream and the right trigger. It could be really funny. I could literally set it up so that if I were playing a game, and I could set it up so that the viewers could vote to control the character in the game, and it would directly control the character. I mean, there's that much anyway. Recovery Addict asks Siri how Thomas is. I think it would be funny to hear what it says. Let's do that. Hey Siri, how's Thomas feeling? I think I've got it silenced because it says I'm not sure I understand.
I'm irrelevant.
Yeah. You're talking about stuff that is not relevant. Speaking of, I told you I was going to tell you a story about Mr. Beast. We've talked a little bit about YouTube and channels like that. Mr. Beast is the largest YouTuber in the world, and he happens to live just down the road from me, not far, within 5 miles or so. Interesting guy, very interesting. He got famous by counting to 10,000 on a live stream, just sitting there 1, 2, 3, or 100,000 or something. It was a ridiculous number, and ended up making a fair amount of money. And he's putting all of his money back into the channel. And one of the things he does just bizarre stunts, some of which are giving away a large sum of money to unsuspecting people. Planes, islands,
Lamborghinis.
boats, all that. Houses. He once ordered pizza, and the whole video was he ordered pizza, and the pizza man, instead of paying him, he was going to tip him the house and gave him the deed to the house. Yeah. Like, oh, by the way, you deliver the pizza. This is now your house. Enjoy. See ya. This is the sort of thing he does. So it's just off the charts as far as mind blowing the cost involved. But his YouTube channel obviously supports that. Okay, so he's doing this huge thing. It's not easy to run a YouTube channel. It takes a lot of support, and so I think he has a a staff of about 180 people.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are contractors, some of them full time.
Best friends.
Best friends from high school that work with him. Well, he's actually taking quite a bit of heat right now on Twitter because he just bought a community. He bought all the houses in a neighborhood.
Like Elon.
Yeah.
Well, no, Elon bought land to build.
It's over by where he lives. It's very close to where he lives. He just bought all the houses. He just bought everybody out. He's like, "What's your price? I'm paying." And so some people made bank, and he bought out the whole neighborhood. And he's like, "I just want my employees to have a place to live and not have to worry about it." And so he bought all these houses for his employees. And so one of the perks of working for him is, free house. While you work here, you get a free house.
That's incredible.
And people are jumping all over him. And actually, Elon, you mentioned Elon commented on this. And he's like, "Look, you guys, at one point, Twitter's all over people saying, 'Hey, all these rich people, have all this money, you could do so much good.'" And then he goes out and he does all this good. And like he like gave 1,000 people their eyesight. He paid for 1,000, cornea, replacement surgeries, and
he did the tree campaign.
ear implants, and 1 billion trees and garbage out of the. He's putting all this money there. It's like, you guys complain all the time about these rich people not making the world a better place. He does it, and now you're jumping all over him, saying, you're doing it wrong.
Right.
So he can't have it both ways. So anyway, so Mr. Beast, he lives in a house that for the area is very modest. It's worth about $318,000, which with the way prices are going in the homes, it was probably worth about $200,000 about 2 years ago. But he lives in a pretty modest house, and he just bought up all the houses in the neighborhood. And
that's wild.
So it's going to be like Beast Road or something.
Yeah. Beastville, probably.
Beastville. I like that.
Wow, that's crazy. That's I was trying to think. There's someone else that I knew that did something similar, not to that level, but same thing. They've made it big. They brought in their team, and then they just said, "Hey, here we go. Here's what I'm providing for you, what I'm going to do for you," and took care of all, which is pretty cool. It's interesting. I saw a podcast with him once too, and there's a lot of people that discussed, oh, you give a guy a jet. Well, now he's got to pay taxes and insurance. Like, you ruin his life. No, in his interview, he said, "I say, here's your jet. If you can't afford it, what can't you, whatever." He's like offered to pay for XYZ taxes, insurance, or he'll just say, "Or you just sell it back to me for everything I bought it for. So I bought this jet for $6.5 million. So you just want to sell it back to me for 6.5. So he buys it again, and then he goes and sells it, and it loses $6 million. So it's crazy, but his concept, I mean, he did it. It's wild.
It's fascinating. He does expect. I mean, I know several people who work with him and work closely with him, and he does expect a lot from his team.
Naturally.
And so he wants the best of the best, and he pushes hard, but he's not like a slave driver. He most of what he does is behind the scenes, and it's mostly with philanthropy. So He does big things on his channel, but he also runs the largest food bank in eastern North Carolina that services like 8 counties. And he's constantly every Thanksgiving, he's like, "Oh, I'm buying 10,000 turkeys, just giving out turkeys to families who need Christmas, Thanksgiving dinner." And so, just giving out truckloads of food to people, helping them out. He'll go to a store and say, "Hey, the food's free, it's on me." And and then just pay for all the people who need lunch. It's really fun to watch. Anyway,
kudos to those that can afford it and then do it and then spend it the right way, or in areas that benefit others. I love that. And then Cass, who's got real high hopes and dreams, saying totally commendable. Someday we'll all go live with Scott and Tom.
Yes, on OBX. We need to be on the beach. This beach is not OBX. This is like, I'm not sure what this is. This is like Hawaii or
more
Fiji
tropical
or something.
Yeah, Costa Rica, something like that. Yeah, come on. Goodness.
The turkeys hate him, says Lisa. He's the enemy number one for turkeys. And he's only 25 years old. Yes.
Yeah.
He started a Feastables chocolates. You can buy them at Walmart. Every single Walmart in the entire country, you can get Feastables chocolate candy bars.
Shopping for your pickles.
Yep.
Just yesterday.
That's his brand.
The burger thing he did is brilliant too. Zero overhead.
I've never had one of those burgers. I don't know how that works. Yeah, it's always order. It's like
it's a Mr. Beast burger. So he contracted, whether it's Jack in the Box, McDonald's, burger joints in towns, and says, here's the ingredients of my burger. You guys have to have this meat, this on hand if you want, but you can sell it because of my name and who I am. People order it. So it's only on takeout, like DoorDash, Bite Squad, Uber Eats. That's the only way the menu will appear. You're ordering a Mr. Beast burger, but you don't know if it's coming from a local Jack in the Box or a McDonald's or something like that. Whatever franchisee has agreed to take in his burger menu specifically. So he has zero overhead.
Okay, so this is embarrassing. I've literally driven around downtown looking for the Mr. Beast burger store. I knew you could get it in Greenville, and I knew it was around the college somewhere. And so I'm like going up and down the streets, like it's got to be here somewhere.
Zero.
I have the app on my phone. I have the app to order it on my phone.
You didn't try to like click locations and see that there's no locations link?
No, I didn't try that hard. I just figured it was right down, by downtown.
Just got to be right down. He lives here. He's got to have one here. That's no overhead, no physical location. It's genius. But the only way anyone could ever make anything like that, you already have to be a somebody, right? You have to have a name. And then these people say, well, heck yeah. And I don't know what he kicks back the restaurant for each sale that he does, but I mean, it's brilliant. So yeah, we've had it. We've tried it. It's decent. Nothing to write home about. But yeah, I saw his whatever the brownie or the chocolate in Walmart the other day reminded me of the burger. It's funny.
He was actually disappointed the other day, probably a couple of weeks ago, because his display was always a mess in Walmart. There was always the chocolate bars were always tipped over and things, and so he said, can you guys? It would just be really nice if we go into Walmart and you see my display, if you just like straighten up the candy bars for me. And so people took like before and after pictures, and he's like sending out $10,000 to random people just for cleaning up his display in the store.
I'm trashing his display tomorrow morning at my Walmart.
The only problem is people did this. The display's looking good. So they'd swap the before and after picture. They'd take a picture of it and really nice, and then they'd trash it and take a picture trying to hope to get the $10,000. So that didn't last very long as people ruin everything. So is he single? He has a girlfriend. They're in a very committed long-term relationship. Somebody said, have I been to Raleigh? Yes, I was there with my family last Saturday. Went to Tree Runner. It's a outdoor up in the trees ropes course, which is a lot of fun for kids and not for big adults. Okay. I think I don't know. Do you have a story? Because I have not worked on my over under and I need to do some homework.
I didn't do an over under either. I've got a mom story. As we pulled into the parking lot, we saw a couple of people looking under the hood of their car. Concerned, Mom wondered out loud, do you think they have a flat tire?
Say this again.
As we pulled into the parking lot, we saw a couple of people looking under the hood of their car. Concerned, Mom looked over and asked, do you think they have a flat tire?
Yep. Mom, that's probably what it is. Flat tire.
If it were me, I was a smart aleck of a kid. I would have said, Mom, I'm not sure. You should go ask. just to be a butthead of a son.
Guess who's walking home? That's gonna be you.
Good call. Oh, let's see. I'm sure I've got a story in here anyway. Speaking of Mr. Beast and financial gains and those that live a life of luxury, and I can tie it into with our viewers. We've got a ton of animal lovers in chat. Yes. Dogs, cats. We even have, veterinarians. I know we've got animal groomers and whatnot in chat. So there's a company that they started to contract with a kind of like a NetJets type business. Those that are familiar, you can fly private. Basically, you can rent a private jet and you can split it with other families or couples or what have you. And well, this company said, I am going to open this up so you can fly your pets. Transcontinental, Jersey to London. So you can book a flight on a private jet with your dog, a large dog.
Owner and the pet, or is it just the pet?
Owner and pet.
Okay.
You can do it without yourself if you need to, but they primarily focus on people that are going overseas or across the U.S. for, a job assignment for a long period of time, or they're relocating through retirement or things like that. So for a larger dog, 51 pounds or above, or 2 smaller dogs that would equal that weight, and yourself, comes with limited dog care, a personalized gift, and some treats for the dog. You could just book a ticket for just shy of $9,000.
$9,000?
Just shy, yeah. That's from Jersey to London. You and your dog.
somebody do just a little homework really quickly. This is you're basically buying another first class seat for your dog, right?
Mm-hmm. But it's private.
Does the dog get to like run around the cabin?
No,
is there like a fire hydrant, on some AstroTurf in back, and is it a little run back and forth? Is there a play area where they can play with the other dogs, like midship? Any of that?
Mid what?
Like airship,
midship. I heard something.
What do you think I was saying?
What? Another ski trip partner here in the neighborhood who's calling me out.
You might have to do this.
I think I might have to do. But yeah, so I don't. Gosh, I know we've got a lot of channels going on right now. So it's crazy. I have taken my dog with me everywhere. I have driven from where I'm in Texas back to San Diego to visit my dad or other family and friends probably 12 different times. He rides front seat with me every single time, back and forth. I love it. I've never flown him. I just had a colleague who gifted a dog to her neighbor. They're going through a rough time and they need one. She found some purebred something in Florida, flew him from Florida to Wyoming, like unattended. She bought the dog and arranged the flight, and they got the dog on the flight. And I learned a whole lot about how you fly animals, because in Florida, where they were, American Airlines, they will not board an animal and wherever they put the animal if it's above 84 degrees Fahrenheit and projected to even go higher. It has to be 84 or under, and the temperature for the duration of that flight has to stay the same or drop from their forecasting. And they were literally getting ready. They were starting to board and load, and it was 85 degrees, and she was getting a phone call. This just happened 2 days ago. We can't. This dog is not. We're not putting it on the plane because there's 1 degree over that contract temperature of 84. Crazy.
It's good. I mean, because traveling for pets is stressful, and the high temperature as well can also cause stress problems. But
I told her if she would just pay the $9,000 and put it on a jet,
there's a solution. It's going to cost you.
Yeah, quit being cheap.
Door-to-door service. It's worth it.
Yeah. So she looked into it. They didn't fly into Wyoming. No. But yeah, wild stuff. So, it makes me think, hearing this story about the jets with dogs and everything, the elites, there's services out there that exist that we already don't know about, but they've been going on for years, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, you could probably have something done for your cat and it could go out and it's just $10,000, but you get whatever. A groomer probably costs that much for specialty. I don't know. It's got to be out there.
Yeah. There's so many business ideas that have occurred to me just recently. I told one today, this week in chat about falling trees in North Carolina, because out west, a big, huge oak tree falling to the ground is like, that's lumber, prime lumber. Here, it's just like, can somebody get a bulldozer, chip this thing up and get it out of here? Because there's trees everywhere. And so if you can like connect the people who want with the people who have, there's opportunity in between, in the middle. So,
right. Yeah, don't you have a neighbor who's got a tree dropped in his driveway or something?
Yep. Speaking of which, I'm actually going to go there tomorrow. I think I'm going to get up bright and early and run over and do some metal detecting over there in that church. I got permission to go detect a church. So I have not been metal detecting. Oh crap. I need to charge my metal detectors tonight. Good reminder.
Hey Siri,
remind me to charge my metal detectors in 10 minutes. There we go. We've got to finish in 10 minutes.
All my metal detectors are now starting to charge.
I added charge my metal detectors for this evening at 9:40 p.m.
There we go. We're good to go.
She loves your metal detectors, but she doesn't care how I'm doing. I see.
No.
Excellent.
Could care less.
Yep.
Thomas, how are you doing? In case Siri doesn't ask.
I'm doing well. I've actually I've cheated. I've been sneaking over here looking at my weather from time to time because I see what's going on. There's tornado warnings all throughout the US. We've got a bunch in Nebraska, north central Oklahoma, southwestern Texas. Those are tornado warnings. And then about 2 miles to my southwest, I have a severe thunderstorm warning with 1.5 inches hail and 70-mile-an-hour winds that are kind of coming my way. So it's what if I couldn't ask for anything more on a Friday.
You're going to be up all night watching the weather.
When we conclude the show, I'm going to get a chair. I'm going to go right out to the front of the driveway and watch because it happens to kind of come in that way. And it's just what a welcoming to the weekend. Although I don't want it to rain too much. So I've got a tea time in the morning, 9 a.m.
So you can't have both.
No,
you can't have the best of the storms, everything right at your doorstep and not have any rain.
Yeah, I'm picky and spoiled.
The greens might be a little spongy.
Well, and they make it car path only. I don't like to walk. I'm lazy.
Oh man, that's awesome. I think we've been on for an hour and a half. I think we'll skip the over and under unless you have something you really want to share.
I don't. I had one earlier. I think my overrated was going to be testimony in a trial that actually has true evidence and is meaningful. I had it ready and typed in chat for the trial earlier, but we've got those that haven't followed it. It makes no sense, but that's what mine was going to be.
If you want to know what Thomas is talking about, follow us on Monday for the Brandon Castiglione trial, which will be wrapping up tomorrow. One way or another, we're going to be in a verdict watch and probably have a verdict as well.
It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be a lot of fun. That'll be good.
But
awesome.
Scott, as always, enjoyed it. It's always such a fun wrap to it. A long filled week from trials and mod duties and hosting duties and everything else. We get to relax, kick back, and take it easy and enjoy those in chat. So I'm excited. So next week, we're going straight over to the Not Relevant Podcast YouTube channel. People have to subscribe now.
Here's what I'm planning. I might need you to run the show from your end because I may be camping and I want to still participate.
Just like I did 2 weeks ago from Dallas.
Yes, but I'll be in a tent filled with mosquitoes and probably sweating profusely because it's going to be like 110 degrees and 90% humidity, and it'll be awesome. Just me having a good time out there with the boys.
If you were camping in the back of a Suburban, you'd have spiders.
I take the spiders at this point as long as I could run the air conditioner, keep that temperature down, humidity out.
That's fair. Okay, that sounds good. We've got a plan now. I think everyone has to tune in just to see Scott fight off mosquitoes next Friday night in the tent.
It's gonna be bad. We're worst case scenario, we don't have a signal, but I've been told we have a signal. I've told everything's good there, so
perfect.
We'll see.
Starlink.
I might have to drive a little ways and do it from the car to the closest hilltop, 30 feet above sea level. It'll be good.
Perfect. Looking forward
Thomas,
to it.
Thank you very much, everyone in chat. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. It's like wonderful and fun at the same time. And please, for those who are able to, who still have a mother or mother figure in your life, please let them know how important they are to you. Tell them you love them. For those who just have memories and don't have that individual around with you anymore, spend some time thinking about that and reminiscing the good times and tell some stories in their honor. Appreciate all of you. Wonderful. And on that note,
I appreciate that, Scott. That's a category I fall in. So the memories are more important than anything else, and that's what we'll reflect on. So appreciate everyone that they do. Everyone have a lovely weekend, and everyone in chat that I see, I know we'll see you on Monday.
All right, we'll see you. Bye.